This is Segedunum Roman fort, which is otherwise known as Wall's End, the end of the wall. This is the final wall, or you could say the first wall of Hadrian's wall. Now, the reason they placed it here, well, you get a perfect view down two reaches of the River Tyne. This sits at the apex, really, of the Bill Reach there, and the Long Reach heading all the way down to the coast there. So the Romans could have a perfect vantage point here, and nothing much could happen on this river without them knowing about it. Now this fort, Segedunum Fort, like much of Roman Britain, was occupied for 300 years. Now can you imagine how long that's going back, if we take today, going back 300 years, that's 1723. That's a hell of a long time people have been here. So that really gives you an idea, and it gives you context about how old and how long this was occupied. Now this part here is called the branch wall, and this actually led right into the river. This branch wall here, came out the southeast corner of the fort, and it led right across that slipway there, and they had to move it when they built the slipway for Mauritania. They had to move the branch wall away from here into a park. It's kind of been reconstructed now, this branch wall, but at the end of it, there was said to be a plinth of a statue of Emperor Hadrian standing on a plinth, so that basically the wall completely cut off any way of getting around the back of the wall. This branch wall did. And I think it was probably a dock as well, so boats could moor off that quay, a little jetty and a quay down there. So this is a very interesting feature, this branch wall. And this is the Roman fort. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea of what a Roman fort was, how it was built. Roman forts were built to a certain formula everywhere. And through the middle, there was a main street called, it was called the Via Praetoria at the top, and that was your sort of, the Via Praetoria means the Praetorian Street, and the praetor was a type of Roman magistrate, basically, and that was the axis, the north-south axis here, and across that was the Via Principia, which was the principal street, and that led from gate to gate. So the wall came in there at the west gate, and it came out there at the east gate, and it stopped there, basically. And if you think about from north to south, you can split the wall into three sections. So this bottom section here was the cavalry barracks, and the top section there was the infantry barracks, and in the middle you have three important buildings. So in the middle third you have the commanding officer's house, or the praetorium, and in the middle there you have the headquarters, and that was called the Principia. And in the headquarters you had a basilica, which was like a courtyard with colonnades and pillars, and at the back of the basilica you had a chapel called the Chapel of the Standards, and below the Chapel of the Standards you had the safe room where the soldiers' money was kept. And on the very far left side of the middle third you have the granaries, very important. The Romans ate wheat, spelt wheat was what they survived on. And just below in this fort, not every fort has it, but this fort's also got a hospital just below the granary. So there you go, that's Segedunum in a nutshell.